you don't have a name in English, tell me your name in Chinese. It's okay. So what is your name? All right. Okay.
My name is Chris.
Sherry.
My name is Lee.
My name is Chloe.
All right. Okay. So before we start watching videos, I want to know a little bit about all of you. Okay, so first of all, I want to know how old are you, right? So I am blah, blah, blah years old. And then here, do you know what is major? Okay, so most of you know, so it's what you're studying here, so I just want to know what is your major. If you don't know how to say it in English, it's in your student ID card, okay? And lastly, I want to know what's your hometown, okay? I don't know, maybe you are actually from Tainan or from Taichung or from any other place, okay? So it's not where you live now, it's from where you are from, okay? Where you were born. All right, so let's start here. How old are you? And what's your major? All right, and your hometown?
I'm 18 years old. My major is visual communication design, and my hometown is Taipei.
All right.
I'm 20 years old. My major is media design. My home is here.
All right. These three, okay?
I'm 19 years old. My major is finance. My hometown is Taipei.
All right.
I'm 18 years old. My major is finance. My hometown is Taipei.
All right.
My major is finance.
All right.
I'm 19 years old. My major is finance. My hometown is Taichung.
Okay.
I am 18 years old. My major is finance. My hometown is Taichung.
All right. Cool. Okay, so the first video we will watch is about some teenagers reacting to Windows 95, so Windows 1995, right? You know that this is Windows 10, I believe, right? So all of this is Windows, right? So there was Windows 8, I think there was Windows 9, Windows 10, Windows XP, but this is from 1995, okay? So I used this when I was a kid. This was the first Windows I used when I was little, okay? So these people are going to be trying to turn on a computer from that time. Let's see.
Okay, so you're not having a reaction video for this episode. I'm scared. Instead, you're reacting to this. Oh my god. You've got to be kidding. Adele. Not the singer, but Adele. I see these in like old libraries. Are these the ones that take floppy disks?
Has any of you used this kind of computer before? No? Wow, okay.
I think the monitor is bigger than the actual computer is.
So you see this word monitor. So normally, in the computers that we have now, we call it screen. Right? Like for example, this one that you see right here, that's a screen. But those big ones are called monitor. Okay? The big ones are called monitor.
Says a lot.
I have no clue what year this is from, but I feel like this is before I was born.
We had one of these for a really short time, because then we find everything.
Okay, like the first computer ever made.
This computer may be the size of this one.
Okay. For me though, this is like the first computer ever made.
So go ahead and turn on the computer.
Okay, it's been a while. I'm gonna go with the big button right here. Or not. Oh, I have to hold it down. No! That's the monitor. That's what I think, right?
That's just the monitor.
Oh, shoot. My dad is gonna be so proud of me right now. Right here's the power. Okay. I know enough. The noises are very interesting. I don't think I've ever heard a computer make these sounds before in my life.
It's a lot louder. A lot more beeps.
Time that.
Sit here a while. You usually boot up and you go get like your snack. And then once your snack is all done, then you come here and start booting up. Windows 95. Okay, that's before, a little bit before my time.
It's prehistoric. It really is. It's an old dinosaur.
Oh. Okay, so this operating system on this computer in many ways changed the face of desktop computing forever, and that was Windows 95.
Wow. 95? That's in like 1995?
Have you ever heard of Windows 95?
I mean, I've never used it, but I've heard of it as a joke. Like, I see a lot of things on the internet that's like, Windows 95 sucks.
That was the one that really put them on the map, where when it really became a thing to have your own OS. Those who know technology should know anything, something beyond the current. They need to know part of the past. So generally speaking, what is different about?
So you see this, right? Very different from this, right? So that is the screen or the desktop. This we call it desktop. So that used to be the desktop for 1995, for Windows 1995, and now here's so different. Like this, the start button takes us here, this one, but here it's different.
About how this looks compared to the computers today. Where to start?
Everything looks so dull and ancient.
It looks almost exactly the same as like the Windows operating systems like nowadays, but they're just not as refined.
It seems more rough. The edges are more sharp. It's a little more impersonal. It's very blank. I feel like there's really nothing going on. Just Internet Explorer and the inbox and all this other stuff. Like the basic stuff.
Okay, so we're going to walk you through some of the Windows 95. Okay. So look around at the applications. Do you recognize any of them?
Recycle bin, my computer, and that's it. Yeah, I know Recycle bin. I know Internet Explorer. The dreaded Internet Explorer. I can only assume it's even worse than we think it is right now.
So let's go online through a 10-year-old browser and open it.
We can get online on this? I'm gonna double click. It says Internet Explorer cannot open the internet site.
Oh gosh, I think I already broke it.
Oh, exactly. So that's it. Wait, is this dial-up? Well, the internet won't work because there's no Wi-Fi on Windows 95.
What? Why is there Internet Explorer? That doesn't make any sense. How do you get on the internet if there's no Wi-Fi? Okay, so how do I get online?
Dial-up. Plug that in.
Okay, so now you have Wi-Fi, right? But at that moment there was no Wi-Fi. That didn't exist. What we had to use is called, like I said, dial-up, okay? So dial-up is a system where you use the phone line, okay, the telephone line. So that means you couldn't use your telephone at the moment at the house, okay? Because you had to put the cable. And it was very, very slow as well.
Well, you needed to connect a phone line to your modem.
Wait, what is a modem?
A modem is a device that sends data to or from your computer that gets you online. And back then, modems had to use phone lines to make that possible.
So you'd have to use your phone to go on internet? Oh, isn't that like really loud, like thing? It's scary to think that Wi-Fi is like so vital to us now. if you go somewhere and don't have Wi-Fi, like that's the worst thing that could ever happen to you.
Well, another way to access the internet was through a service like AOL, which we have. So go ahead and look at that.
I get a free trial.
I see a key, bless up, and the world, and then the Illuminati symbol. So step 1, it's loading.
This is too long. Now you're going up to get your second snack by this point.
The first I did not initialize correctly. Are you kidding me?
Now we're initializing again. We're back to step 1.
God, this is such a pain in the ass. I just give up.
Oh, here we go. Oh, couldn't do it. Couldn't initialize my modem.
Another innovation that came with Windows 95 was the Start button.
Yeah, that's crazy. You would never think that's such a simple, like, little thing. Still in 2016.
Before Windows 95, many computers had nothing like this to navigate.
So there was just a lot of lost people.
So no one could even use computers. How would you navigate stuff?
Didn't they used to have like a search button or something like that? Then you type in some code.
The way it actually worked was it ran on something called DOS.
DOS. Oh, I've heard that.
And DOS was where you had to actually type in.
So this is called DOS. So what you had to do was to type down code. So computer language. Alright, you have to type down things like this to even try to, let's say, open something. You have to type down a code. It wasn't like, oh, click.
The computer code how to run any program or open any file.
Oh.
This is such a bitch.
Yeah, this is easy, but that seems so cool.
People that they had to learn computer code before they could get computers.
That seems like way too much work, though. If you had your iPad and you had to type in a little code every time you wanted to switch apps or whatever, I think a lot less people would be interested in owning that.
I can't really imagine having to memorize, like, find XYZ file 102 or something like that. Like, that's just, I would just not use a computer.
Windows 95 was very popular when it first came out. It sold 7 million copies in the first 5 weeks of its release.
Wow, really? 7 million?
I'm not surprised. Bill Gates is practically the father of software because he's just created and made so much that expanded on our whole technological universe.
To install Windows 95, it took 13 floppy disks.
So do you know what is a floppy disk? Anyone knows? Let me show you what is a floppy disk. This is called floppy disk. Okay? So I assume that you have never used one, right? So now what do we use instead of this? What do we use now to save information? USB, right? Well, after this came the CDs, right? And then USB. Now, in a floppy disk, you could only save up around this much. Only this much. And then USB, you can have like 128 gigabytes, right? Which is a lot more than this. So you couldn't really put a lot of information in these things. And then if you see this, I am sure that most of you have used Microsoft Word. So if you look at Microsoft Word, you see the button to save, it's a floppy disk.
It's one by one.
Whoa, that's intense.
Holy shit, the big thing.
I remember what a floppy disk is. That's that square thing, right?
And those would take hours to install. I'm sorry, this is just really blowing my mind.
Is that the way it is to install things now?
No, usually you just connect to Wi-Fi and like downloading.
If I put in a game to download the game onto my Xbox, it takes like 2 hours. I was waiting for my Fallout 4 to download, and I'm like, can I play this? Generally, like if I have to update my computer, do a little refresh thing, or like get my security, as sad as it sounds, if it takes more than 5 minutes, I get pretty frustrated.
So we just passed the 20th anniversary of Windows 95 last year.
Oh, awesome, happy birthday.
With all the technology that you've grown up with and used today, do you ever think when you're on a computer or on your phone of just how far things have come and what it used to be like?
Of course, doesn't everybody? And everybody take a moment to just think like, damn, this is so easy. It's just crazy to think like my cell phone is like more powerful than this.
A lot of older people will watch this video and say, oh, look at this. These people who don't know what Windows 95 is, and they're just too into technology nowadays and they're too spoiled. Well, I'm sorry, okay? It's not my fault. I was born after this. You probably had this reaction about older computers when this came out.
So finally, go ahead and shut down the computer.
Wait, there's a right way to do this though. I found it.
Goodbye. Sit down.
Is it gonna do the sounds? It's now safe to turn off your computer. So I have to physically turn it off?
It is now safe to turn off your computer. Nope.
It's not safe to turn off. That actually scares me a little.
Why does that tell me it's safe to turn it off? Like it wasn't safe before? Something would happen if I tried to do it without that step? It would blow up?
Winning! Thanks for watching this episode of Teens React.
Alright, okay, so that was the very, very old computer. Now I just want to know what kind of OS you use. Do you know what OS is? You probably know iOS, right, from iPhone. But OS stands for Operating System. Okay, that's what OS is. Now, I want to ask you if you use Windows.